What is up, all of my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back to Late Night Frights. I'm the Late Night Frights horror leader, the J. Sloan or Jordan, back here to do another video for you. And as always, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. Now, last week we did a theme, and as you guys know, this week we're doing horror battles. Everyone has already battled the two films of their choice this week. So now it's my turn, but before I dive in, I just want to thank Mike for filling in for me on Monday. It's just been a very busy week. This was a temporary switch. Next week we will be back on schedule. So, without further ado, the two films that I chose to battle. The first one here is a classic film from 1973, and that is The Exorcist versus As Above, So Below. Okay, so I'm going to start this off by reviewing The Exorcist, which is just a timeless classic. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. This is definitely in my top 10 favorite horror films of all time, one of the greats, and it was made in 1973. This one starring Linda Blair, Ellen Burstyn, and Jason Miller. And I can say nothing about this film that hasn't already been said. It's been covered every angle, every scene. It's been talked about so much. It's one of those horror films that you can't even, there's nothing new to say about this film. It's all been said before and it's all been done. But I will give you a brief description, tell you my final thoughts over the film. So the plot follows Linda Blair's character, who plays a girl named Reagan, and at first she seems like this lovable, child. She seems very innocent, unaware of all the things that are going on around her, as many children are. It's about her and her mother, Ellen Burstyn, who plays a character named Chris, I believe. I could be wrong. And very slowly, Chris starts to see changes within her daughter, something she's never seen before. Her daughter starts cussing, starts having these fits, going into rage fits, and a lot of things starts happening. She takes her to the doctor. They of course have an answer for what's going on, but as we all know, some doctors, or most doctors, are actually full of shit. And she comes to the conclusion that her daughter is possessed by a demon, and in fact she is. And the rest of the film is about trying to exorcise this demon from her daughter's body, so she will have a hope of, continuing on life with her daughter. She doesn't want to lose her. But I've always loved The Exorcist. I think that it is very scary film for its time, and very ballsy to be made in 1973, and the things that they were actually able to show within this film. Very, very crazy scenes. I'm not going to go into it or spoil anything, like I said before, if someone hasn't seen it. But if you're a horror fan, you have probably seen this film. Hopefully you've seen this movie. Just a classic, great acting, great direction all around, and worked for its time, and really disturbed and surprised a lot of people. And I've always loved The Exorcist, so yeah, that is my review over the classic The Exorcist. Okay, so now I'm going to review As Above, So Below, and this is a new horror film that I was actually surprised by. I went into it with low expectations, and I came out, I was happy with it. I thought it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good, and I will dive into the plot now. So the main character is a character named Scarlett, who is this adventurer, this explorer trying to find hidden, treasures within the world, and she's been very successful with everything but one thing that she's came across or tried to find, and that is a stone of some sort, a stone that gives you eternal life, and it's something that her father was hunting after until he drove himself crazy and committed suicide. And she finds some clues that can actually lead her to the stone and make her dream come true. And she thinks the stone might be in the catacombs underground of Paris, where they keep all of the dead corpses and all the remains of I don't know how many thousands of people. And she gets a little team together and decides to go down there, and things get crazy, guys. She realizes that she is traveling her way down to hell, basically, and really good. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil anything else. Very fun, very enjoyable. It has it's a found footage film. That subgenre has ran itself straight into the ground for me, and that's why I was a little bit iffy going into it. Although I did find enjoyment out of it, I thought it was one of the better found footage films that I have seen in a long time. It did it right. It wasn't a paranormal movie. It was, supernatural, from like beyond the realm, like into a new place kind of movie. But it wasn't supernatural where there's ghosts and all this stuff. It wasn't paranormal is what I mean. It wasn't paranormal where there was ghosts and all that. It was something different, and they put it in a completely new place putting it underground Paris in the catacombs, a very tight and claustrophobic space. You're not going to want to go in there if you don't like tight spaces. And there's a lot of that in the movie. It's hard for them to move around when things start to go down. They have to run. If they have to run in the film, it's very difficult. They're trapped basically. It reminded me a lot of The Descent, and with other elements to it as well. It was really cool. Really enjoyed it. Thought the plot was pretty good, and the way that I liked the way that they did every new stage. Like the further they get down underneath Paris, it's a new stage of hell. For each and every one of them, a personal hell that they all have to go through, and that was interesting. It was good. Not great. Definitely give it a watch if you haven't seen it. I'll be doing a longer and more full-length review on my channel of this film very soon. So stay tuned for that. Go check out my channel when I do a review for this. It's going to be a full-length review, and diving a little bit further into the plot and storyline. So, yeah, that is my review over As Above, So Below. I've reviewed both films. It is time to battle them to the death, starting with round one. My usual round one is just not fitting for this battle, so I decided to change it. It's usually body count or kills, but seeing as neither of these films were slasher films, it just wasn't fitting for this battle, so I decided to change it, this time only to suspense. To me, which film was more suspenseful? The Exorcist, to me, was the thing I love about it so much is it was ballsy, it was right in your face. They did not beat around the bush with anything that they showed. The spider walk, that's just terrifying. That's not suspenseful to me. That's terrifying. I mean, you see that at a young age, you're going to be scared to death. They didn't beat around the bush. Now with As Above, So Below, it was very different. It was very suspenseful throughout the entire film. So round one, I'm going to have to give to As Above, So Below for being more suspenseful, because I do think it was more suspenseful, and it had its jump scares, which was what this film was made of. Basically, it was all jump scares. That's round one. Round one goes to As Above, So Below. Round two, story and originality. Which film do I think had a better story and was more original? Without a doubt, hands down, this goes to The Exorcist. I love this story, always have. Very interesting and intriguing, especially for the time it was made in 1973. So, there's nothing more to say to that. The Exorcist takes round two. Round three, personal enjoyment and replayability. Which film do I personally enjoy more, and which film would I pop in right now? And that's another easy round, guys. That is The Exorcist, an absolute classic. I've always enjoyed the storyline, always enjoyed the acting, the directing, everything about this film I've always enjoyed. So, The Exorcist takes round three. Now, don't get me wrong, As Above, So Below was very entertaining as well, but just, no comparison to The Exorcist. So, The Exorcist takes round three. I don't think it's necessary to go any further into this battle. You know which film's going to come out on top, and of course that is The Exorcist. The Exorcist wins this battle. It takes the cake, and it has come out on top. It is victorious. Just an absolute classic. Going into this, I knew, The Exorcist was going to win. There was no doubt in my mind that it wasn't going to win, since I love the film so much, and, As Above, So Below was good, just no comparison to The Exorcist. It was, fighting a losing battle, throughout the entire video. It was destined to lose, and that doesn't mean that I don't like this movie. I actually really do enjoy As Above, So Below. It surprised me a lot, because most films that come out nowadays are just complete and total shit, just garbage, and not even worth watching. But this one I would definitely give a watch. Good horror film from 2014. One of the only good horror films from 2014. So definitely give it a watch if you haven't. That's As Above, So Below. Just doesn't stack up to The Exorcist. Isn't as good as The Exorcist. Not many films do compare to The Exorcist, it being so classic. And it is a great horror film, one of my personal favorites. So, thank you so much for watching. That was my battle over The Exorcist and As Above, So Below. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Please comment down below and tell me which film you would choose in your battle. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to say The Exorcist. I'm sure a lot of people are on the same boat as me. Thank you so much for watching this week, guys. Everyone did great horror battles, and we thank you guys for watching our channel. Stay tuned next week. We have a really cool theme planned, and also stay tuned tomorrow, which will be Sunday. We'll be doing our horror chat number 9, and we'll be talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. and should be awesome, should be very fun. So stay tuned for that. I'm the Jay Sloan. Thank you so much for watching, comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, keep it horror. Peace.